Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and today we will discuss situation in Ukraine on 16th of June. We don't have a lot of updates for today. The front line is stable, there are a lot of heavy clashes along the front line. Of course, there were a lot of events on the front line, so let's discuss them, and after that we will discuss two important events that were held today. The first one is the meeting between Zelensky and the representatives of the European Union, and the second one, the Global St. Petersburg Economical Forum. There were a lot of interesting things there on the forum, a lot of very interesting notes. So let's start. And today we are going to start with the Kharkiv area. As you can see, according to the Russian sources map, there is no updates in Kharkiv during the last day. The only one thing we need to note that there is a town by the name of Kupiansk. It's a very important town. See, this town is located on the cross of roads, railroads, and so on. So this is the new capital of Kharkiv area. This is the Kharkiv Oblast. You see that this white border is Kharkiv, and as you can see, the Russians took almost like 40% of Kharkiv, and they need to have some capital of this oblast, so that's why they put their administration, local administration, in Kupiansk. So there is local mayor there and so on. If you're going a little bit to the south, you see that there are a lot of drones. The Ukrainian drones were shut down in this area. We discussed this area a few times, that the Ukrainians are planning to start their offensive operations towards Balakleia, so they're doing some recon operation using their drones. And according to the Russian military authority reports, there were around 7 drones that were shut down in this area. So they are trying to find out the Russians' positions, supply roads, and so on in this area. The same as you can see, the same situation in the Izum bridgehead. The Russians destroyed a few drones in this area. Also, the Russians destroyed some missiles that Ukrainians were launching towards this Izum bridgehead, and so on. A little bit to the south, you see that over the Dolina and Krasnopolye, the Russians hit down one Su-25 aircraft. There are very heavy clashes around Dolina, this area, in this bridgehead, and as you can see, the Russians have updated their map. In previous videos, we could see that the border was right around town Dovginka and a little bit in this forest, but for now the Russians are controlling entire forest, entire this bridgehead and Bogorodishna. Important update we got yesterday in the evening. According to the Russian sources, there were some storm operations towards Mayaki. We discussed the importance of this town Mayaki, that located on the north from the town Slaviansk. This Mayaki, there was a storm operation. I didn't have any confirmation this morning. Some sources said that because of that fact that there was some storm operations towards Mayaki, that means that Sidorova is under the Russian control. Like some kind of confirmation how do these forces can attack Mayaki. They can do this like through Sidorova, but my opinion, I'll give you my opinion, that because of that fact that Seversky Donetsk river, the level in this river is very low, the Russians crossed this river and attack Mayaki. I'm not sure that it was like very full operation. It was some kind of recon operation. They're trying to find out the Ukrainian positions in this area, but we can say that the Russians are attacking this area, and I'm sure that in a week we're gonna see the full picture of Mayaki, the very big battle there, and we'll see what's next in this area as well. Now let's move to our Donbass, Donetsk, Lysychansk conglomeration. Important update about the town Razdolivka. You see this town located between Bakhmut, Seversk, and Popasna bridgehead, how the Russian calls the area near around Popasna. The Russians used their Iskander rockets and they attacked this area, and according to the report of Ministry of Defense, during yesterday the Russians killed around 280 280 Ukrainian soldiers. I'm not sure that they did this just using this one attack, but we know that it's not the first case when the Russians attack the Ukrainians who has their position in buildings and so on. And usually they do this at night when the Ukrainian soldiers are resting, and that was some kind of attack, and 280 Ukrainians were killed during this attack. Now let's talk about Severodonetsk. There are a few updates about Severodonetsk. You see this line, white line, like from the territory that is under Ukrainians' control and the territory towards the territory under the Russians. You see this white line. This is the evacuation road that was provided by the Russians. You see that the Russians started to send some mails, like artillery mails. No, they're using like artillery weapon, and they're shooting this, attacking this area not with the real shells, but with some papers, with some notes, and you can find some plan in these notes how to leave this area, how to evacuate this area. So the Russians trying to destroy the morale of the soldiers in this area. We discussed that there are around 2,500 soldiers there. So they're just sending these mails on this territory using the artillery, and according to these mails, there is like a road. You see this like small plan. This is the mail that the Russians sends to the Ukrainians, like a small plan about showing the Ukrainians the road they can use for safe evacuation. We saw the same thing in Azovstal. Now we can see this in plant Azov. So I understand that the Russians are planning to finish with Azov. There are a lot of civilians. Some sources said that there are around 1,000 civilians in this plant. So we'll follow the situation and we'll try to understand what is going on there. Another important update about this area, there is the first official, not like official, there is the first video confirmation of foreigners there, and according to information we have on this map, there was a video published and made by the Georgian mercenaries. It's according to the Russian sources, they're calling them not volunteers, they're calling them Georgian mercenaries. I understand that maybe it's volunteers, but we know exactly that among foreigners that in Severodonetsk there is some Georgian soldiers. Now let's move to the south, to the very important area, our Toshkovka area. You see that the Russians are showing like attack area. There are still very heavy clashes around Chihirova. So there is like Ukrainian positions between Ustinovka, this forest, and Chihirova. So this is the Ukrainian position, fortified position. They are holding their defense there, trying to keep this area as long as possible. We know that the Russians were trying to establish control over Chihirova for around a month. Entire Toshkovka is under the Russians. Also, we've seen the battles in Ustinovka for a very long time. And this morning, there was very interesting video published from this area, information that says that the Ukrainians sent some squad here in these positions on this line, and the Ukrainians gave them just the AK-47 and military simple radio and maybe a few grenades. These soldiers it's territory defense. They were moved here from west part of Ukraine, some were from very, very far from area, some were here. They were moved towards this area. They even didn't know where they are. They took this position, started to prepare their defense line, and some morning, for example, they were moved here in the evening. Next morning, the Russians start shelling this area with everything they have. With rockets, with artillery, with just tanks. So everything the Russians had, they sent there. So these forces establish control. They hold just one day, evening, and starting next morning, these forces start retreating. And under all this fire, they were trying to retreat for 3 days. They managed to leave this area, of course, but after that, they were arrested. At least commander was arrested because, according to his words, maybe just rumors, of course, I want to know this, maybe just some kind of Russian speculation, we don't know, maybe there was some kind of case, maybe not even in this area, but we will discuss according to information we have. And this commander, after few hours being under the Russian attack, took a decision to retreat from this area. He wanted to save the lives of his soldiers, of his squad, and so he retreated. And after that, he was blamed as a traitor. Maybe he was captured. For now, I don't have any updates about this. And these soldiers asked their commanders to give them opportunity to leave this area, and they demand their command to move them back to their territory where they belong to. We'll see, we'll follow the situation, we'll follow. More updates are coming from Vrubovka. You know that yesterday the Russians took Vrubovka. It was very heavy clashes, very heavy battle, and today we got some video about the prisoners. There were, I can't tell you about a lot of them, but at least few dozens of prisoners were there. So we'll follow this and we'll see. Very important update about Popasna area is that this area was enforced by some parts of the Russian 8th Army. So the Russians are preparing, as soon as Russians established control of Vrubovka, this area was enforced by the parts of 8th Army, and now in a few days, I'm sure we're going to see the final battle for Lysychansk conglomeration. The battle will be a very long time, but the key battle, I'm talking about the battles which will allow to encircle and to cut any supply, any road that connects Lysychansk agglomeration with the big land. So we're going to see this. Also, the Russians, as you see, they're attacking, trying to cut the road between Solidar and Lysychansk agglomeration physically. For now, they still have just the fire control over this road. They want to push and establish this physical control. Maybe it's not something that they want to do really, but now the important update that the Russians establish control over this part, like east part of Berestova. So we can say that they did some they cut this road physically, and now they have some position in Berestov. For now, the map is not updated, so we're gonna follow this. Maybe there are some changes we don't know, but we'll follow, we'll try to understand. Another important update from our Svetlodar's cauldron. You see that the Russian sources map has been updated. They added these gray lines. You see these gray lines showing us the current front line. So everything that between the green line and the gray line is the gray zone, where the very heavy clashes are, and the Russians are already there and they're fighting with the Ukrainians in this area. And as you can see, there is almost already a cauldron, just operational encirclement near Semigorye. We discussed this town yesterday, and today the president of DPR made some changed the custom. According to these changes, two towns like Luganska and Novoluganska is now under the DPR authority control. So we can say that we didn't have any confirmation that the Russians took control over Novoluganskaya, but according to the new custom, this town is under the Russians, and usually they do this only under the DPR, and usually they do this only after they have physical control in this town. So we're gonna see, so maybe Novoluganska is already under DPR Republic. Now let's move to the west. You see that a lot of shelling. If we are going more close to Donetsk, we see more and more shelling. You see a lot of shelling. It's Gorlovka, very fortified DPR positions. There are heavy clashes between these two areas, between Toretsk and Gorlovka. So it's a regular military artillery duel. The same situation in our Donetsk flower, this area between New York and Avdiivka. Donetsk is under fire, and the shelling is usually a little bit less, of course, but the same picture. The Ukrainians are shelling the Donetsk People's Republic very heavily. Today, another important update about area between Pavlovka, Yegorovka, Shevchenka. There was some heavy clashes there, and even the Ukrainians announced that they did some counter-offensive operation. To tell the truth, I don't understand how did they do this, because as you can see, it's very far from the front line and far from the gray zone, but there were some clashes, and I'm not sure, and for now, because of those clashes, I'm not sure about the real situation on the front lines in this area, and who is really controls Pavlovka at least, and so on. So we'll follow, we'll see, and I think that soon we're gonna understand the whole picture in this area. Now let's talk about few important updates. I want to add more interesting updates to the yesterday's, and first of all, that some Ukrainian military authorities reported that in these special operations, the Russians uses around 330,000 soldiers. So we can say that all this red territory is under control of 330,000 soldiers. He didn't tell anything if this number includes the Russians' losses during this period. So I can say maybe this number doesn't include the losses, so it's like the current situation. This is the first thing. Now let's discuss about two meetings. The first one was in Kiev and the second one was in St. Petersburg. You know that representatives of European Union came today to Kiev, and a lot of specialists were asking themselves what were they doing there, what were they asking, what were they talking about with Zelensky. And there are two opinions, at least the Russian sources have two opinions, like they're split, the camp split in two parts. First part are saying that they came to Zelensky asking him to surrender. So like they're saying that Zelensky, stop this war, you need to give Russians everything they want, but stop this thing, because we in the European Union, we are not ready for the winter, for the prices, we want to live in peace with the Russians and so on. It's like the first camp, the first opinion about this meeting. The second opinion says that they were discussing like this, almost the same situation, but they told Zelensky that if you are able to sign the peace agreement, the next day you will be in the European Union. So it's almost the same thing, like surrender, like signing peace agreement, and after that we will see what's next. But about peace agreement, it's okay. We understand that everybody tired of this war and it will be very nice. But about the European Union, it's also a very big high chance that they were discussing the situation. And maybe the talks and rumors about Russian mobilization is connected with exactly this part, like entering the European Union. Because if Ukraine do enter the European Union, we understand that the Russians won't stop like here. They will try to move as far as possible, because they understand that all these territories is like Russians. It's like Russian land. Of course, the Ukrainians are living there, but it's like historically, it's this territory belongs to Russians. So that's why they won't stop, even maybe in the west part of Ukraine. So there are two camps. I'm not sure exactly who to believe. Maybe there's like some other options. So we'll see. We'll follow the situation to understand. And another meeting was in St. Petersburg, like a great big economical forum. There were a lot of things, and there a lot of things were discussed there. But for the military summary channel, like I noted a few things. First of all, there was like interview of the president of DPR, Pushilin, the president of the Donetsk People Republic. Donetsk is the capital of this republic, and you see that this capital is under fire and the shelling. And there were he was asked like a few questions, and one of them, and like there were a few questions, and he was asked like if he think that the Russians need to establish control to take Odessa, and he told that the Russians should and must take control over every single Russian town. So we understand that it's Russia. It's not like the West countries. And of course, if a person like Pushilin says something like this, we understand that it's already prepared answer, of course, and I don't think that. Maybe it's even his opinion. Sometimes it's the same, but in this case, no matter this his opinion, even if he thinks like this, this was like the answer of the Kremlin. So, and the answer was that the Russians must take control, take every single Russian town. And of course, what does it mean, every single Russian town? Who knows? Where is their ends? Nobody knows, but we'll see. Another important question about Kharkiv. He was asked about Kharkiv, and he told that Kharkiv is the primary goal for the Russians. And he told that Kharkiv is the aim number one after, we can say, like situation near Severodonetsk or Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, so on. And these two situations, like, is to control over every single Russian town. The situation about the Kharkiv means a lot in when we are talking about mobilization. And there was a few questions to, do you know who is Peskov? You know that Peskov, there's like Russian authority person, and we can call him like a voice of Putin. And today he announced that during this meeting, during this forum, St. Petersburg Economic Forum, Putin are not going to announce about mobilization. So you see, like, now everybody talks about mobilization from Russia like very loudly. A lot of people are saying, and if we are talking about that, the voice of Putin told us that Putin are not going to do this today. So the real question is when he's going to do this. So this is like all these things are connected, of course. Furthermore, today the Ministry of Defense Russian announced the report about the biological weapon. I published just a few things from this report. I'm not sure I am able to publish the entire story in YouTube because of, we understand why, so I'm not sure I'm going to do this, but I will prepare, according to this report, a big material. Just it will be some kind of translation with some facts that I found out from my side. Maybe I will publish it somewhere else or any other way. And that's it for today. Thank you for your watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes. I remind you one more time that Military Summary condemns any violence in Ukraine. Have a good day. Bye bye.